Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Rise and Shine with Morning Moon. My name is Coach Lacy. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button or the follow, be sure to do so that you are notified every time we go live here at Rise and Shine with Morning Moon. I hope you all had a very nice weekend. It's Monday and we're hitting the ground running here. And I had a lot on my mind this weekend. But the number one thing I wanted to talk to you today about is worry. Why worry? Worry is not a strategy, my friends. It does not pay the bills, it doesn't fix the problems, and it doesn't keep you safe. So it's not going to stop what's coming. It sure as hell doesn't unlock peace. So why worry? I'm saying that to myself because I am a classic worry wart. And all worry does for you is rob you of peace right now in this moment. Worry is it's just fear. It's basically just dressed up fear. So ditch the worry and stop making it a distraction because that's really what it is. It's a distraction, it's an excuse, and it's a bad habit to keep you from actually taking action and moving through the fear anyways and feeling it anyways. Because sometimes we get caught up in our feelings, we actually don't do the thing. And we need to, instead of leading into the excuses and the worry and paralyzation that we feel in the moment from our feelings, we need to just do it afraid and do it anyways. Because worry is literally just a distraction. It is a bad habit. It's a glitch. It is a glitch in the matrix that makes you repeat these bad patterns that you get sick of and stuck in a rut. It gives you the illusion that you have control over everything. And what is one thing that I have said to you guys time and time again? You can only control your controllables. So anchor in. You can't control all of this other stuff over here. You can't control the storm, right? You cannot control the storm. So what do you do when you are worried? We anchor in. We anchor in because worry never fixes a single damn thing ever. It only makes us feel like we're actually doing something. It makes us feel the illusion of doing something while we are doing nothing, while it's getting nothing done. Why worry? Why should be worrying? It's not going to add a single hour to our life. That's in the Bible. Worry not. Worrying cannot add a single hour to your life. Will not help any of us. So, what do we do when we worry? It's not enough to just say, oh, don't worry. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be all right, right? Is it? That's what my brain always says. Is it gonna be all right, really? Well, it's just a pattern. It's another pattern, and you're anchoring into a pattern of negativity. So, what you need to do is you need to crowd that out with something more meaningful and something that has substance, and that something is crowding it out with trust, leaning into trust, not this woo-woo concept of trust or trust your intuition or you just gotta trust God. No, I mean, yes, you do have to trust, but trust isn't this light, airy, fairy, woo-woo feeling. It is a feeling of anchoring, of grounding, of being, of having the faith in fate that your story has already been written and you are just the author. I mean, you are just the storyteller of it. You are not the author. God already knows how it ends. God already wrote your story. I'm sorry you did not write your story. You did not create yourself. You didn't just make yourself up. There's a story. It's been written, and it's not your own. There's a divine design and a calling on your life. So lean into that and trust that there's something more for you and that have faith and that there's something bigger than you, you know? Nothing surprises God. Nothing is new under the sun. Nothing. Not your debt, not your problems, not your pain, not your trauma, not your story, none of it. There's no surprise under the sun. It's all been done before. Even if you have the worst diagnosis in the world, it has been done before, and either it has been triumphed or you lay down and it's over. And we're all going to die someday. We are all going to die someday. But in that knowing, why would we worry? Why wouldn't we spend more time with the people we love and do the things that we love and show up in a more meaningful way and in service to others and in helping people? Surrender isn't giving up. It's giving it over. You're not giving up the battle. You're handing your sword over to someone who can help fight with you. And that is very different than giving up and laying down and just saying fuck it. Worry can put you into a place of paralyzation. It can put you into a place of where you have a momentary lapse of reason and say fuck it. And that is not surrender. That is weakness, really, and that's being a victim. So what do you do? Back to what do we do when worry creeps in? For the risk of sounding like a broken record here, I'm going to say it once again for probably the 100 millionth time you'll ever hear me say it. We need to anchor in. But, in that there's some surrender and they're saying, this is too big for me. This is too much for me. I don't know if I have the strength to endure this, right? I don't know if this is going to work for me, but I trust that God has a plan and that there's a divine design and a calling on my life, and then I am held. And I refuse to obsess. I refuse to be power hungry. I refuse to get stuck in the loop of what ifs. Instead, I'm going to choose peace and I'm going to lean into the things that I love. And I breathe it out. I breathe out that anxiety. One inhale, one exhale at a time. Sometimes 20 times in a row, sometimes 30 times in a row till I can just calm my spirit. Our nervous systems get into fight or flight mode. And in order for us to feel safe, in order for our minds to believe that we are safe, sometimes it just takes a little bit of conscious breathing and awareness and breath regulation because it will trigger those thought patterns in which we were stuck in the trauma. So the way that we breathe and the way that we engage with our consciousness and what we focus on while we're breathing. If your mind is racing, just breathe and focus on the breath. Do it 20, 30 times, however long it takes for you to shift. You shift your state. Motion. Motion changes emotion. Anchor in with motion. A lot of people don't like to move. And there's a lot of stagnant energy, but moving changes everything. Moving your body, even just walking around the house. Worry will grow and take over and sit in stagnation especially if you're stewing and you're sitting and you're not actually getting that energy flowing. That worry will just grow and expand. And so in order for it to retract, you have to change the pattern. You have to have a pattern interrupt and you have to do something different and you have to think in a different way. And sometimes in order for us to change the thoughts up here, we have to change the movement here so that we actually shift into a different state. Motion changes emotion. Always remember that. If you are stuck in a worry wart hole, go for a walk. If that walk isn't helping, jump up and down, dance, be silly. Something will change that state if you get your body moving and you will forget what you were even worried about to begin with. Right? So move, stretch, clean, dance, sing, whatever. Move your body. Motion changes emotion, right? And most importantly, when you are faced with worry, it's pivotal to be truthful with yourself. It's pivotal to be honest with yourself and not live in victim mode. So, what are the lies that you are telling yourself? What are the excuses that you're giving yourself to stay a victim? And what is the comfort that you're finding in being a victim? So, anchor in because worry is full of shit. And the only way that you can remove that shit is if you anchor in and you get moving. We can only control our controllables. We can't control the storm. So control your controllables, anchor in, and use truth as a weapon because it is the strongest weapon you have against worry and against the lies that you tell yourself to stay small and to stay stuck and to stay in the rut because that's comfortable. And there's some level of comfort that we need in order to grow, but there's also too much comfort, which becomes sloth, and then we have regret and all of the things, and then there's worry. So get out of the cycle and move and speak truth. Speak truth over your life. Speak truth over your future. Even if you shake while you're doing it and you're worried about people, what people think, who gives a shit what they think, as long as you're telling the truth, as long as you're living the truth, as long as you are not a victim. So ask yourself these pivotal questions when you're faced with worry. Is it true? Am I absolutely certain that this is true? And if it's true, what does it mean for me? And then who would I be without that thought? What would my life look like if I didn't even think that? If I was empowered in the truth and not stuck in victim mode and in solutions mode. What are you holding on to? What are you holding on to that you are not meant to carry, that you need to give to God? And what loop are you playing in your head that has already been that has already been resolved? What rut are you in? The only way that you can get out of a rut is if you move. So move, crowd it out. You're meant to rise and shine. You're meant to live out your calling. You're meant to live this divine design. There's a calling on your life and there's a divine design. So put down what you're not meant to carry. You are not meant to be your own savior. You cannot save everyone. You cannot even really save yourself. You can surrender, but we cannot save ourselves. We can do all of the things to help us anchor in and make the right choices so that we can move into a better version of ourselves, but we cannot be our own savior. And we're not meant to live in fear. We're not meant to live in worry. So many of us worry about things that will never even come and situations that will never manifest. It's wasting time off of our life. And I am saying that to myself. So peace is not found in having it all figured out. You're not going to figure it all out. And that's okay. Take a deep breath, give it to God, and reclaim your peace back. It's okay. Everything is going to be okay. Remember to ask yourself the questions. Is it true? Am I absolutely certain that this is true? If this is true, what does that mean for me? And who would I be without that thought? And let it go. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful and fruitful Monday. Give it to God, give it up, whatever it is you're holding on to, whatever it is you're worried about. You are not alone. You are meant to rise and shine. There's a divine design and a calling on your life. So live it. And I will see you tomorrow. Ciao.